intentionally illogical, adding to the surreal, dreamlike tone of this nightmare that's perfectly augmented by the cinematography and soundtrack. I fucking love this movie is what I'm trying to say. I mean, how could I not? It's even got a fart joke.
Hey, I have an idea.
Got away. Farts are always fun. When Jay can't sleep, she comes down to the living room. Surely sparks plenty of fantasy for poor old Paul. But before any games of pussy can get underway, the sound of broken glass sends Paul upstairs to get the oven. And while he's gone, Jay goes into the kitchen to see what came through the window. Oh shit, it's a topless lady, and she's not housing. Oh no! Jay screams and runs away from the thing and retreats to her room upstairs. She only allows Kelly and Paul inside after they seem to let them help her.
What's something wrong with me?
But they still don't believe her just yet. So when Yara knocks and asks to be let in, they open the door for her. CJ, nothing's wrong. Oh, never mind. There's a lurch-looking motherfucker in the house. And shout out to the guy who played that on scare, Mike Lady, the 7'7" former basketball player and one half of the world's tallest twin. He sadly passed away last year at the age of 48. Rest in peace, man. Jay nopes the fuck out of there and rides off on a bicycle all the way to a nearby park. Weird time to try to skin the cat, Jay, but whatever calms it down, I guess. Her friends come and find her, and they all hug it out. But Jay is understandably super paranoid right now.
Did you see that? I do.
That person is Fred. Lives across the street from Jay, and is the kind of guy who likes to wash his own car in his own driveway. No automatic drive-thrus for this red-blooded American. He wants to help Jay out, so he takes that clean car of his and drives the whole lot of them into Detroit, where we get nice drive-by shots of that beautiful fucking city and all its tragic economic misfortune. I never lived in Detroit, but I was in its backyard, and I bore witness to downtown's resurgence. So don't talk shit about shit you don't know. Long live the D, baby. They go to the abandoned house that the con artist formerly known as Hugh was renting under his fake name, probably for like $200 a month. Inside, they find a bunch of homemade alarm systems, some made with Fago rock and ride cams, hell yes, that would tell him if anything was coming inside to get it. They also find some well-used porno mags. Maybe he was trying to get the monster to follow his right hand or something. They also find a picture of Hugh with a girl wearing a leather jacket of a nearby high school. So they head to that school in an effort to find the bastard and get more information out of it. Another fantastic fluid panic shot shows a figure walking towards the school as Jay and Greg consult some records in the office. And what's awesome here is that the movie doesn't feel the need to make a big deal out of it every time. Even when they get back in the car and tell the others that they learned Hugh's real name and address, we see that figure walking towards them. But a rack focus from the camera is the only bit of attention it gets. The characters never comment on it. As unsettling as the thing is, it's now just a part of Jay's life. And the pervasive paranoia means they don't need to rely on jump scares or anything. I love that. Hugh, whose real name is Jeff, actually lives in a large suburban home that's quite a step up from the one he was renting in Detroit. And he lives there with his mother, who you may recognize as the nude woman approaching Jay when she saw... Oh, and by the way, why doesn't Jay just get herself out of that
like
top spot by sleeping with
Deny
someone
their
and passing it on?
whatever it is.
It's just easy for her. She's a girl. Any guy would do it. Just sleep with someone else would help me do that. Maybe he'll never come back.
Oh, Paul looks like he wants to be a hero. Since the thing is always walking towards Jay, slowly but surely, they head to Greg's far-off lakeside cabin, which I can only presume is up north, to buy themselves some time and figure out what to do next. This is where I started to wonder what would happen if Jay took a plane or a boat to another continent. Like, you just see him walk across the bottom of the ocean to get to her, but since they're a bunch of teenagers, that's probably not a really easy financial option for them. So, I guess it's a good thing. Greg's cabin's amenities not only include a fully functional kitchen, but also an old revolver in the house. So Greg has Jay try some target practice, just in case that becomes a viable way to defeat this thing. While hanging out on the beach, we get what's maybe my favorite spooky news from the evil beach camp. First we see Jay, Greg, Paul, and Ellie all hanging out and kicking back hands on the sand. Then we see Yara walking towards them all in the background behind Jay. But then we see Yara floating the view out on the water. Oh shit, one of these Yara's a monster. And I'm guessing it's not the one on the big image. The awesomeness continues when we see what things look like from other people's perspective. Since they can't see the beach, they only see Jay's hair float upward as it grabs her and pulls her out of her chair. It's a great little sequence that expertly jumps back and forth between the different points of view. And unfortunately for Jay, it turns out that all that target practice was for naught, since even a well-landed shot to the thing's neck isn't enough to stop it from getting right back up and continuing to follow it. Although they lock it out of the drive, it busts a hole in the door and tries to get at them with a jump scare. That little bastard sends Jay scrambling the hell out of there and getting into Greg's car to escape. She drives off as the beam continues to approach her, now appearing as a young girl. But Jay's frantic getaway is cut short by a nasty case of distracted driving that sends her off the road and onto the fast lane for the hospital. There, she wakes up to find her loved one sleeping and her arm in a cast. Hey, at least her legs still work. You're gonna need those to run. Well, to help Jay out, Greg agrees to sleep right there in the hospital bed. Wow, really falling on your shoulder, huh? Or I guess he would be the one falling in the 3 days later, Greg tells Jay that he still hasn't seen the enemy, although that might be because he slept with one of these ladies and blasted it up with you. We never find out if he did or not for sure, but that's okay. Ambiguity is just fine, people. In any case, Jay still doesn't feel safe. That there, Jay. I don't think it's a Jehovah's Witness knocking at Greg's door, because those people are friendly and can tell you all about Jesus Christ without breaking your window. Jay runs over to Greg's house and climbs through the broken window, hoping to help him. When she gets upstairs, she finds the beam disguised as Greg's mom incessantly knocking at his door, pausing only long enough to stare daggers at Jay real quick. When it resumes knocking, Greg answers the door and damn this teenage boy's asking, "What the fuck, Mom?" This the fuck, son. Jay walks in to find the entity doing the task to Greg and killing him with some fucked up pseudo-insect. Oh boy, there is a lot to read into here, and I can't even begin to do it in a kill count, man. With Greg's death, Jay gets back on the lead list in the premier position, so he drives far enough away to stay safely overnight as the car rode in. The next day, he wakes up and walks down to the beach where he sees a trio of dude bros out on the water. Well, if it's a dude bro party, then Jay is there, and ain't no way gonna stop him from being in on it. At least that's what we're left to do. The next time we see her, Natalie and Leslie driving back home. Is she reluctant to sleep with those dudes to buy herself some time? Yes, and in fact, she never tells Paul that she's passed on if she did, so he goes ahead and offers up his own services. Yeah, Jay, Paul will give you no stone. He shoots him down quietly, and in his rejection, he gets an idea from a picture of Jeff at a city pool. They load into a car to head there with their plan, and they better step on it, because Jay is the monster again. Santa Claus? Okay, up on the roof. This. As the kids walk past the gorgeous winter closure, Yara talks about the very sharp border between the city and its suburbs. Not just an M&M song/room. It's a road with extreme division of socioeconomic status on either side, which destroys thousands and the suburban counties of Tacoma, Hope, and York. And I think that little Michigan factoid deserves an awesome little score. What do you say? Oh yeah, thanks, Dad. They get to the point and prepare for the monster by setting up a bunch of electronics around the perimeter, all plugged into the connection cables. I guess they're looking to zap this monster and write it off with a death note. Jeff gets into the middle of the pool while the rest of them sit around and wait by twiddling their thumbs and eating from their clamshell cases. Eventually, the monster arrives, but even when taken, the audience is left in the darkness. Probably because of whatever state Jason takes. What do you do? Gary Busey doesn't care Sonic plan if the monster was Gary Busey, but it's not. It's just a beardo in his underwear. Paul shoots at the monster as it keeps chucking shit at Jay, but he only winds up hitting Yara in the leg by accident. It's not until Kelly gives the monster a kick-ass sheet ghost costume that Paul is finally able to shoot it in the head and knock it into the pool. It grabs onto Jay's ankle before she manages to get out, and Paul takes some very risky shots to try to save her. Wow, dude, maybe ask Yara how your aim is before you try that. He eventually lands a lucky headshot that gets the monster to let her go, and although Jay has a red hand mark around her ankle, it looks like the creature is in far worse condition. Its blood filling the pool in a gnarly way that only Jay can see. With the monster apparently vanquished, Jay and Paul have some rainy celebratory blanket sex. Although afterward, they both admit that neither of them feel any different. Paul then cruises the streets for sex workers to use as insurance to keep his name off the top of the list. Although, as you've probably guessed by now, we don't know for sure if he ever follows through with that idea. Some thematic loose ends are tied up when we see from a family picture that the monster's last date was Jay and Kelly's late father, lending that fool scene some retrospective emotional weight. And to really put a point on it all, Yara reads one last relevant quote from Dostoevsky's The Idiot.
And the most terrible agony, knowing for certain your soul will leave your body and you will no longer be a person. And that is for certain. The worst thing is that it is certain.
The movie ends with Jay and Paul walking down the street holding hands. They're not quite happy, because how could they be, never knowing if they're fully safe or not? And judging by that person walking towards them way in the background, they might already be back on the chopping block. How many people does this invisible, versatile sex monster murder? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Only 2 people died in this follow, tying it for the movie with the least kills on the kill count. With 1 male and 1 female victim, we got ourselves a very even pie chart. And with a runtime of 100 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 50 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for the coolest kill to Annie. It's the punctuation for a real kick-ass open. And she kept her eye heel on the whole time. That's a classic death right there. Don't be ready for layman's kill. We'll go to Greg by default. Although I can safely say I've never seen a kill like that. And that's it, Follow, which came out in 2014, and like I said, I really friggin' enjoyed. Until next time on Dave Dave TV, it's been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this extra Kill Count. I want to thank the patrons like Caleb Rose, Ezra Cassie, Alexis Parmentier, Ryan M. Cole, Cynthia Zhang, and Noah Owen. A little deep dive furniture production stuff. I still saw 3 and 4 at the same time before I got the hair. So on Friday, you'll see me with my old hair, and then next Sunday, we'll be back to there. You don't really care, it's fine. Thanks everyone, be good people. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James LJudine, and today we're looking at Happy Death Day to You, our first 2019 film on the Kill Count. Happy Death Day to You. 2017 genre bending Happy Death Day, and true to that film's spirit, the sequel is even less of a straight horror film than the first one. There are still a bunch of kills, integral to the plot of a single day repeating itself, but there's also a whole new sci-fi angle that attempts to explain the mechanics of the first movie. Normally, I hate it when things are over-explained, and I think the first movie functions just fine without any kind of answer as to why Tree had to relive her birthday over and over again. But this sequel mostly pulls it off, while successfully building out the world of the first movie. I will admit that the complications surrounding the new sci-fi plot device make for a much messier movie than the tightly scripted original, but it's still a treat to watch these 2 films back-to-back, thanks to returning writer-director Christopher Landon and the efforts he took to make them feel like one seamless experience. Happy Death Day to You was filmed a year and a half after they had finished shooting the first one, but since it's supposed to take place partially on the same day, the crew had to go all out, recreating locations and casting the same people, even for minor characters and featured extras. To really appreciate how much they matched everything to the first film, and because I've got to plug my own shit, I recommend you rewatch Kill Count for Happy Death Day if it's been a while since you've seen the movie. I rewatched the episode myself, and I'm happy to say I still think it's a great Kill Count script, even though my narration is somehow both rushed and unenthusiastic at the same time. Come on, Past James, get it together. How many people will die in this sequel? And how many new tree puns can I come up with while I count them? Let's find out and get to the kills. The movie begins with a bell tower ringing. Ryan Fan, Mr. Fine Vagine himself, wakes up in his car and makes his way back to the dorm, passing a snippy dog, a change-seeking bush dweller, and an intern on wheels in the process. Once again, these and other oddly specific things are there for us to re-experience when the inevitable time loop starts up again. Ryan gets to his dorm room and walks straight into the ending of the first movie, line for line. I'm not seeing my car again. Some other cop out. Get out! I'm so clean underwear! Here's a perfect example, actually. Just compare that to the same scene from the end of the original and see how well they recreated it. I'm not seeing my car again. There's another cop pockets and feet. Get out. I just want clean underwear. in the original, when that scene ended with a pushing on a bumper sticker and a cut to credits, this movie continues, with Ryan going to the school's quantum mechanics lab. There, he and his nerd squad of new characters, Samar and Dre, are fucking with some heavy-looking super science shit. Their machine apparently had some kind of high-energy output the day before.
Yesterday, 12:01 a.m.
Meaning it's probably the cause of Tree's repetitive growth cycle in the first movie. But Dean Bronson, another new character, is sick of the blackouts and lack of results coming from Ryan's quantum thesis project.
Consider this joke of a project suspended, effective immediately.
What? Ryan touts on the couch and gets a real creepy picture texted to him, and he follows this digital peeping Tom trail into a chemistry lab, where his inspection of a closet leads to death via babyface, who stabs him in the chest. Like the original, this movie is PG-13, so don't expect a lot of gore. But hey, at least we got an impact shot. Ryan wakes up in his car, and you already know what to expect here. Hyper Hound, Shrubbery Shrub, Skateboard and Coffee Boy. This movie knows you know what it's all about, but it'll run through the familiar fast enough. Don't worry. In fact, right away, when Ryan mentions having deja vu to Tree and Carter, they recognize that he might be barking up the same tree that she was. But when he says that he too was killed by a babyface deal, they get confused. I don't know. Why don't you let me watch this movie and find out? Tree gives Ryan a vignetted recap of the first movie, and with everyone all caught up, they head to Ryan's murder spot so Tree can take a whack at solving this mystery. Also, hey, Tree with a baseball bat reminds me of the kill I missed in the first movie that a few of you pointed out. Before Tree herself was splintered with a home run, she hit one of her sorority sisters, Kappa Becky, in the head just as hard with the same bat. So, yeah, that was probably a kill. Meaning the first movie actually had 20 kills, not 19. So go ahead and make a correction in your little notebooks or whatever. I know some of you have those. They inspect the closet, but don't find any killers, baby-faced or otherwise. So Ryan introduces Tree to a science project, the Sisyphus Quantum Cooling Reactor. We call it Sissy for short. That's a fun name, since Sisyphus was the Greek mythological figure who was tasked with rolling a boulder up a hill. Every time he reached the top, it would roll back down and he'd have to start all over again. Kind of like reliving the same day repeatedly, huh? Ryan gives a sciencey explanation about how Sissy was made to manipulate time, and Tree informs him that it works. These mofos made a time loop. They have lunch in the cafeteria, where Tree's sorority president, Kappa Danielle, shows up to Danielle at her for missing a house meeting and hanging out with a bunch of nerds.
Ew.
So we've established that she's still a meanie pants. Got it. Tree and Carter cement their new relationship status.
Oh, are you my girlfriend?
Kinda.
As she tells Ryan he's got a whole bunch of dying to look forward to. Hopefully he'll be better than her at keeping a kill count of all his deaths.
I died 11 times.
Oh yeah, Tree? Because in my video I counted 10, so I hope you got the receipt. In an effort to keep Ryan safe from the new babyface killer, Carter suggests that they go to a basketball game so they can have safety in numbers. But yeah, that might not be the best idea. It's like hiding from Chucky in a doll factory. Oh wait, they did that, and it was awesome. Never mind. The game gives Tree a chance to check in on plot lines from the first movie, like that Tim guy's recent emergence from the closet, and the sadness she still feels over her dead mom. But then an alarm goes off, sending the student body flowing through crowded hallways, and shown up, and especially mean-looking baby starts making their way towards Ryan. Babyface eventually catches up to Ryan in the basement, but they're knocked out by Tree, and when they demask the individual, they're shocked at what they see. A second Ryan. Ryan, too, wakes up tied to a chair and tries to explain.
I was trying to close the loop, but somehow I got knocked into a parallel dimension.
Talk about timey-wimey. Ryan, too, says that they have to kill Ryan 1 for butterfly effect reasons, I guess. But instead, Ryan 1 boots up the Sissy and ignores his doppelganger's warning. You don't understand what you're doing! Shut up, man, Ryan! As the machine loses his life, Dre, Samar, Dean Bronson, and things go to hell in a handbag. Sissy finishes initializing and releases a huge science explosion that blows everyone back in super slow motion while the flower duet plays. After everyone crashes, the lights go down, and we're back to a familiar scene. Bell tower chimes, waking Tree up in Carter's bed, with him greeting her a good morning, and her phone playing that awesome ringtone again. Yes, Tree is back, and yet again, resulting in some understandably unbridled rage. Although Ryan and Carter don't understand
active duty personnel, catch incoming. Heat signals suggest they're offloading ordnance.
Is in a sort of multiverse situation. Although she woke up on the same day, it wasn't necessarily in the same dimension, and thus, like I said, a little thread on the Blu-ray helps break it down. When sifting this much, we created a time loop on Monday, September 18th that we all play out in the movie.
Break it up, Colin.
Or you'll break them.
I'm not sure exactly how. Next time, for the next day, but when Ryan put it up yet again, reset the original, only in a parallel dimension, that's most. But what's the minor difference? Also, the major
Ha? Stop. Zamisz.
Guardian, we're reading some
No,
odd
on
fluctuations
są
in our
niewielki.
scans. Gravity waves.
Nie, on
Now,
tej
let's
są
amp them
tanki.
up and they'll rip us apart. I've got 3 locations where the waves are strongest. Sending you coordinates. losses for the Fallen and a tactical advantage for us. Good job.
I didn't see anything slow, but I... Did you hear that?
What are you picking up?
It's gone. Maybe I'm imagining things. We'll check your other coordinates.
Quick. I don't like what I'm seeing.
Unfortunately for her, that's when Dean Bronson shows up and shuts the whole